What's up, boys and girls and boys? Welcome to episode 24. This is our Kobe Bryant episode. Um, we're doing this late Thursday evening. Um, and
Friday morning, really.
yeah, so the episodes will probably be up early Fridays from now on, and you won't have to wait until we feel like whenever posting it on Friday. This might be how we do it. Um, Evan, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel real jazzed, real
Yeah.
jazzed. Not jazzed for my sleep cycle, but
No, I've never been jazzed for my sleep cycle, to be quite honest.
it does feel jazzed for these late night vibes, which I am quite enjoying.
Yeah, we enjoy the late night vibes here. Um, and some of you might
Sure.
enjoy. What was that?
I was saying save entertainment after hours.
Exactly. Exactly. That's our. We're rebranding. Some of you might enjoy after hours on Tuesday nights slash Wednesday mornings, staying up to watch new episodes of Marvel's Loki, their new Disney Plus original series. We're halfway in after the third episode dropped this week. Um, I didn't love this episode. Evan, anything you want to say about it before we get into it?
It wasn't great or even very good,
Yeah.
but it was probably one of the most interesting episodes so far. And in, it's one of those things where in any other series, it might be its like worst episode,
Mm-hmm.
but it's probably the best episode of the series so far, if not for. I might say that if they had at least a little Owen Wilson in it, but
Yeah, I don't think this was not to just throw your opinion in the garbage can. Um but I don't think this was the best episode for me in the series yet. I think the I'm trying to remember. Like I think I like the first one. I would say they've all decreased in how much I've liked them. Like I like the first the most, second best, third the least.
I feel like all three episodes have been kind of like nondescript in
Yeah.
my mind. Like I'm trying to recall back to think which of the first two I liked more. And I might say I like the second more just because there were less clips from other things in it.
Mm.
But they're both the same in my mind. I really think if they had Owen Wilson in this one, it might be my favorite. But I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe we should get into the episode, give a little recap of what's in it.
Yeah, so episode 2 ended with Loki going into a portal after we found I believe the character's name is Sylvie. And
Lady
she
Loki.
she's almost, yeah, she looks like a Lady Loki type character. Loki follows after her. They argue for a little bit, and I think Loki kind of sends them to this planet in like 50 years in the future that's I think about to explode and cease to exist, something
Krypton.
along the lines of that. What was that?
That Krypton style.
Yes, Krypton style, except there's no Zack Snyder Superman in this one. um
Unfortunately, it's really our loss.
yeah, it's all of our losses when there's no Zack attack. So yeah, this kind of has Loki and the Lady Loki character on a bit of a journey through this planet. It focuses on those two the whole episode. They're, trying to get a read on each other if they want to help each other, kind of thing. And I don't know, is there anything else I missed? It kind of just goes from there.
No, it's just so much of this episode is just these two Lokis walking through a pink desert,
Yeah.
uh, asking each other. It goes back and forth between, some classic Marvel quippage, which is, not a substitute for actual dialogue, and sprinkled in with some, uh, kids bop philosophy here and
Hmm.
there,
Yeah.
like the nature of hedonism and identity and characters. There's like a 20-minute section. It felt like 20 minutes where they're just sitting on a train talking. And I said it in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it's hard when these shows try to have serious points because they almost always then end up divulging into like, and then we got to get back to the timekeeper and get away from the time lords and go into the magic portal, and it's like so much of this dialogue is meaningless words that mean nothing.
Yeah.
So much of the show is just useless words going back and forth, and it's a lot of useless mouth traffic is what I'll say of this show and this episode. Ooh, motor vehicles driving by.
That was Kevin Feige racing to your house to knock down your door and say, "How dare you criticize my work?"
Hopefully. I mean, that was interesting. That made me
Yeah.
turn my head. That was like some peaks and valleys,
Okay.
which, Kevin Feige, please use some more of that when
Yeah.
you're instructing the people who are writing for your TV show.
Yeah. So those of you who are respected audience members of our wonderful show, you know that we're always so positive on here, and we never criticize anything. So it would feel wrong for me, I think, to say I just didn't like a lot about this episode at all. I think the lack of Owen Wilson, as much of a joke I kind of make about Owen Wilson, he's the best and we need him in this show. And he's not even in this one for a second, like maybe the recap of the last episode.
Yeah, we need that counterbalance for Loki's character to have any kind of like interest.
Yeah.
He's snarky. He's getting quippy. He's got the Marvel quippiness. He's like clever and like, egotistical. But when you spend the whole time talking to someone who's like just a female replicant of himself, who's like a little more serious, but not really, like the differences with them really draw thin over the course of this episode and them constantly talking to each other. It felt like the same one note thing being played for 20 minutes. It's not new. It's not really that interesting. What I did like about this episode, though, and why I said it might be one of, it might be, I take back with saying that it's the best that we've seen, just because, yeah, of all the stuff I said before. But it was nice, and this whole series I've mentioned is nice in that it's the one Marvel property so far that's ever had a tone of like actual menace. It felt menacing and it felt like there were some kind of stakes. I
Mm.
think that having these two anti-heroes as the lead kind of helped in that matter. There's a bit of danger to it. And the fight at the beginning when the first time we see the female variant Loki in this episode, there's a good little fight. She like vaporizes some guy. I thought that was cool. That was cool to watch. When they get on the planet, it's cool looking, but also with that, you're shooting on digital and with that weird CGI effect where it looks like it's like in an old movie when they're standing on a rear projection set It's like you can tell that this physical world ends about 10 feet behind where the
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah, the CGI is pretty bad this episode, I can't lie.
It looks like a cheap video game. And when they finally get to that, like to the arc or whatever, after we got some little like social commentary. By the way, when they're getting on the arc, there's like one person who like shouts out, "Hey, they're only giving tickets to the wealthy," and like I can see that. I can see there are people with nice clothes getting on the arc and people with
Mhm.
not nice clothes waiting in the line. That's all you had to show me. You don't
Yeah.
have to say everything you think.
Yeah.
Show. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm
It's
talking to you, screenwriter, who's definitely watching this.
yeah.
But they finally
It's
the world, and it's like a colorful neon thing, and I'm like, oh, this kind of looks cool. It's like Blade Runner,
yeah.
and it goes back to my thing about how the most interesting stuff in these shows is when they're copying someone else. It's
Mhm.
like Blade Runner, but you don't get what's going on. And at the end, when can we spoil? No.
Yeah, we can spoil.
At the end, when the arc, because the planet is doomed, they have to leave on an arc. When the arc is destroyed, I kind of didn't even realize what was happening until it cuts back to everyone's faces.
Mhm.
Kind of put it together, but I was like, oh, just some bright lights going on in the distance. It's just kind of like all the they took all their influence from like Blade Runner, 12 Monkeys, whatever, and then they put it in here, except it's so noisy and so like crowded, like visually, that the big climactic event, you don't even really get what's going on. There's no weight to it. There's no,
Yeah.
you never really, while there is a sense of menace, I remember the whole episode, I was thinking, you never feel like these two are in genuine danger right now. And the kind of the scope of their magic powers and what they can influence, what they can't, I feel like is never that clearly defined.
Hmm.
Did you also feel that way, where it felt like they could basically get out of anything depending on, and this is always true, you can get
Yeah.
out of depending on what the writer wants, but it shouldn't always feel like that. It shouldn't always feel like the stakes and the abilities and the rules of the world that we're in are so malleable that like, oh, it's hopeless because we say it's hopeless. But then I'm thinking like, I don't know, in 10 minutes they'll probably be like, oh, I can use this magic power to get out of it. It's like a whole everything in this show is kind of like a webby mishmash, a
Yeah.
wavy mishmash with no real defined boundaries, and that kind of hurts it.
I kind of was thinking that because there was a moment when they're on the train kind of thing, and the Loki gets like thrown out one of the windows, and the female Loki variant like goes after him, and I forget exactly what happened, but Loki like loses something or messes up that like something that sounds like it's gonna be pretty bad happened in the process.
The Tamora pad,
The tempad.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I I knew it was some variation on like Tempur-Pedic, but I knew it's not the Tempur-Pedic,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I forget exactly what happened, so sorry. Brain is a little fried right now.
window and like it's in his pocket, and then he rolls on the ground a bunch,
Mhm.
breaks, and she gets mad at him, but like he was thrown out a window. He didn't
Yeah.
he broke himself.
Yeah.
But once again, yeah, like it breaks, and it's like, oh, that's the only way we could get out of here.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you guys have magic powers. You guys will figure it out. You guys
Mhm.
loosely defined otherworldly powers that always seem to get you out of pinches like this. I feel no danger. And then with things like this, with any kind of like really abstract sci-fi,
Mhm.
you need to either A, have a clear set of rules, or B, embrace the fact that this is going to be strange and confusing. And it seems more like they're leaning towards the former. They're not trying to go for a kind of abstract surrealist sort of thing. So you need to give us some rules. You need to give us some stakes.
Hmm.
And right now, everything is so broadly defined that it's hard to feel anything when things change.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that I still don't understand in this show, and I don't know if we'll get all the answers. I don't know where they go from here, but I don't know. This episode, in TV, if you're watching a TV show, like, I'll give you an example. Like, have you ever watched The Flash on the CW?
I have not watched The Flash.
Okay. So The Flash on the CW, like, there are other shows, I guess, not just their superhero shows, but there was Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl, and they
Forgot,
they what'd you say?
forgot they had that Legends of Tomorrow.
Yep, yep. I used to watch all of them.
It's the time travel one where they got the giant eye and
Yep.
stuff.
I actually liked that one a decent amount because they would go to different historical events and it would be cool sometimes.
Hmm.
But and it was like a ragtag kind of group of like anti-heroes kind of.
What are we? Some kind of Legends of Tomorrow?
Exactly. That's where I was going. Um so so these shows which I used to watch, their seasons are pretty stretched out. There's like 22 episodes a season. And when you have that many episodes, which is probably too many when they're all, kind of half hour plus episodes too, I'm pretty sure. Um, you're not going to have every episode be as significant as some of the other ones. So there's filler episodes where you just have some random side quest of a character from the comics that maybe people will know, or like they go on some they focus on side characters more, whatever. That, you're going to have episodes that don't advance the plot, and they're called filler episodes. And Loki is only a 6 episode series, but I don't know. This kind of felt like a filler episode to me.
It felt like, and sometimes, you'll have, in a lot of shows, they use those filler episodes, those bottle episodes.
Hmm.
They can be pretty interesting. One or the episodes that kind of diverge, the little pit stop episodes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when it's clearly developed, when a show's clearly developed, you know the characters really well, and you can explore that
Right. Right.
really interesting. Like probably, in my opinion, like my favorite episode of The Sopranos is the Pine Barrens episode, because these are two characters who you know well, and they focused on them both a lot, but you've never focused on them together. And seeing them together, you get to see the best parts of their personalities explored
Hmm.
over the episode. And that's what makes it so interesting. But with this, I just learned who this female Loki was like last week.
Yeah. Good point.
And we just know, okay, so she's like him, but like eviler, I guess,
Hmm.
and less, also like jokey and stuff, but kind of more serious. She's more dedicated to the mission,
Yeah.
but the mission is like anarchy, just general like chaos. I don't know what the mission is. She's gonna kill the timekeepers, I guess. Is that the
Yeah.
same Loki has? I don't know. That our main Loki has, which if so, they never really explore that too much.
Yeah. They're gonna have to explain a lot. How does the episode end exactly? I forget.
Ends with that arc blowing up and then it stops.
Okay. I watched it like when it released, so I'm trying to piece together what I remember of the episode, but it's not much to be quite honest.
Right. And I'm not saying that they have to explain everything. I mean, I prefer them leaving some stuff up to mystery, and that's what puts this episode above, say, like a WandaVision, where it felt like they were explaining every little thing to you.
Yep.
I hate that those are the two extremes. And I mentioned how earlier in this show it had that kind of like Nolan dialogue
Mhm.
where every piece of inform every piece of dialogue is just like a mechanism for conveying exposition to you,
Sure.
which is how a lot of stuff operates. But you got to dress it up a little bit. You got to make it at least interesting. And here, it was like that again.
Mhm.
There was nothing to really make it that interesting. And it's less a matter of not explaining things too well and more just not letting us sit with things long enough to make them impactful and meaningful,
Yeah.
which I think is just an issue with a lot of these shows. Probably partly because they're very confined. They all got to be 1 hour and there's six of them. And partly because, of just the way that these shows operate. They're like little building blocks. You're writing within a hole that's been cut out for you. So
Mhm.
then make
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just I don't think it'll be the case next week that this one's as similar to the one we got this week, but you know, Loki's a strange and mysterious show, so we'll never know what's coming, will we?
never. I'm happy for any media that doesn't feel. I think I've said it before. That doesn't feel like a Wikipedia article set, like put through an AI machine to kind of put it on screen.
Yeah.
I'm happy for any piece of media that doesn't feel that way. This episode did dress that up a bit,
Mhm.
but it still left that core emptiness, which acted to its deficit, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
All right. Anything else before we get into what's next?
Uh, just hey, if you've been watching Loki, honestly, if you've been just loving Loki so far, then I can't imagine you won't like this one. But if Loki really hasn't been, or if Loki has been, kind of confusing to you so far, just do an episode recap for this one. You can skip it.
Yeah.
You've heard what we have to say about it, so
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, it is a quicker episode though, I will say that.
it is mercifully short.
Mhm.
Honestly, unless I mean, we've kind of told you everything. If you want to see, hey, nice pink planet. That's pretty interesting.
Mhm.
It's like Blade Runner at the end. There's a lot of cool things in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like
totally.
it on the train with the Argento lighting. I thought that was cool.
Mhm.
But you can get that in clips, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
If there's a way to skim a movie, I would recommend skimming this episode. Or just looking at production stills of it and then like reading, I don't know, the AV Club doing a recap of it.
Just
So
get the spark notes.
yeah, just give the spark notes, darn it.
Yeah. Um all right, there was a new trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I thought we saw some we kind of watched this right before we started recording. I kind of didn't see anything in this that made me want to see it more than I do, which I think the first one made me want to see it a lot. We got some cooler shots of some more action.
This one definitely, and I mentioned this before, but this one really drove home the kind of like martial arts movie roots
Yeah.
film has, or at least the influences that it's taking, which I like. I'm all here for. It's cool. It looks cool. The fight scenes look cool.
Yeah, totally.
Is all you can. That's all I ask for in a movie like this.
Mhm.
When at the end of the day, it's magic people pointing things at each other.
Yeah,
All you can ask for is that it's entertaining, is that it's
I
cool.
agree.
And this one looks very cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see like a martial arts type movie, with all those different fighting styles we haven't seen in I guess Marvel, but also I mean
Just
movies in general.
movies, and it's kind of like obviously martial arts films aren't like a dead art form, but the appeal to for them in Western cinemas has definitely decreased in the same way that Westerns have,
Mhm.
outside of, knowing callbacks to them, like in the Kill Bill movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi obviously is, a knowing callback to this genre.
Mhm.
Though I suppose you could also call like a genuine entry in it as well. But I mean, you got those rings flying off his hand and causing mischief and then coming back to it. And that fight on the subway, that a lot
Yeah.
of the action here, it doesn't have that like weird. I don't know. I don't know if I can describe it very well, but that kind of Marvel sheen that a lot of their products have, a
Sure.
lot of have. This trailer seemed very that seemed absent in this trailer.
Mhm.
The action scenes that were shot during the daytime, they looked bright and colorful and like not dilapidated,
Yeah. Yeah.
like they were ran through a bunch of filters before they got to you,
Mhm.
which I liked. That was cool. That was cool looking.
Well, this movie's being directed by Dustin Daniel Cretton, I believe his name is, director of Short Term 12, which is a pretty good movie. I would recommend watching it if you haven't. Some pretty big names in that before they were pretty big names. Brie Larson, Rami Malek, who else you got? Um, some other people. They're in it, and I liked it. Yeah, this trailer showed us some of the bigger, I think, action sequences, like possibly the final fight, but also we got to see, is it a it's Abomination, right?
I mean, you're the one who told me this earlier, but I think it was
Yeah.
about and at the end of that.
Well, I almost said like the Abominable Snowman or something like that. So,
I think the
um,
Abominable Snowman does make an appearance in
that
this.
would be great, to be quite honest.
I feel like I bet the Abominable Snowman is a comic book character, you know.
Who do you think the Abominable Snowman loses in a fight to?
The Abominable Snowman.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't quite on that page, but I wish I was.
Really, any character who like is a big heat thing. So,
Yeah, yeah. Do you think
Superman.
the Heat Miser takes the on the Abominable Snowman?
I think he could. I think he takes him. First of all, he charms him with the power of song.
Right. It's a catchy
And
song.
yeah, I'm Mr. Green Christmas. I'm Mr. Sun. And then
Hmm.
immediately he's in a trance.
Yeah.
Sets him ablaze.
Yeah.
Then he just becomes the abominable man. Just
Right. Right. Do you,
looking guy.
do you think like if the Abominable Snowman gets defeated by heat, just like the whole thing melts and it's actually just like a guy like controlling a
Well, the Wizard of Oz, like it's just like a guy.
yeah.
And then he scampers off like as a tiny little guy inside.
Yeah. I think it's a possibility.
Like I just wanted to feel big for a day.
Yeah.
Not all that much to ask. And then we all feel bad for him.
Well,
I would feel bad for him. It's clearly men suffering from self-image problems. Have a heart, Declan.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. This Loki episode is getting me too worked up. Um, yeah, I'll think this abomination character, the abominationable snowman. Um, he was the villain in the Edward Norton Hulk movie, which I have not watched because I've heard it's boring.
I did watch it.
Yeah.
haven't like rewatched it, you know?
Mhm.
I watched it when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
If I recall, I'm pretty sure the Abomination is like a big white guy, so you're really not that far off. Like a big white Hulk.
Well, the Abomination cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Just big creatures. Um this is pretty cool, I guess. I mean, we saw like the Hulk kind of disappear for a couple years and he was in some like fighting arena. So like that looked like what he was doing at the end. So and I think the character's supposed to be in the She-Hulk series.
Oh.
I don't know like what the role will be, but yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess, if it's just like a cameo or whatever. Reintroduction.
This movie, you know, he gets defeated by heat.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure at the end of that movie, he's like a big white monster. So
Okay.
he's kind of like a Yeti.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he scampers away at the end.
Right. So yeah, this trailer was pretty cool. I was gonna see the movie anyway, but it's still cool to see some action. I don't like when they show like the final fights in the trailer.
Yeah, but I feel like they probably did in this one.
They did, I'm pretty sure, with like when he was fighting his dad.
Yeah.
So that
Hopefully, maybe that'll be like a thing where like what happens like 40 minutes in, like
right.
that gauntlet he has to pass.
Then the abominable snowman comes in at the end.
Yeah, maybe his dad becomes the abominable snowman.
Wow, that would be a plot twist.
He gets infected with that green goblin juice and then turns
Yeah,
into
maybe he gets like hypothermia.
yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't
Who knows?
know enough about cold related illnesses to disprove that those are the effects of hypothermia.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk about for like 5 or so minutes.
Okay.
Uh, people get worked up about the Fast and Furious movies.
Mm.
And honestly, I don't think there's a bigger waste of time than complaining about the Fast and Furious movies.
What's the complaint that's being hyped around?
So Fast and Furious 9 is coming out this weekend and a bunch of people have already seen it. I'm pretty sure. And in this movie, obviously it's more outrageous than the last, apparently. I mean, you could tell from the trailers. It's
This is the one that's in space, right?
yeah, I haven't seen it, but they're going to space in this one and the characters will never be killed by anything until maybe the last movie, who knows, but I probably not.
Which they're all arrested for a speeding ticket.
Yeah. And people just complain. They're like, these movies are too over the top." And they know. The people that are making this know that, and they're doing it on purpose because it's a great entertainment. And if you hate on these movies, you are probably not someone who I want to spend a lot of time talking to.
True. But is the complaint just that like is it just that they're over the top, or is it like it's over the top and it's not funny, or is it like it's over the top and
Um, I think it's more like
it's just so silly?
they're dragging out the franchise, which yeah, there's 9 movies, but also there's still a demand for them. People love these movies, but also it's the complaint of like, yeah, it's too obnoxious and I don't know if people really think it's funny. Like there were some times in Hobbs and Shaw, which I guess this is different cuz that's like a spin-off.
Mm.
Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart both had cameos in that movie.
Do you
And
see her?
yeah, I loved it. I saw it in theaters.
I think you're one of 10 people on earth who saw that film in
It's a
theaters.
great movie. Um, but they have cameos in that movie, and they're like pretty forced and not funny. Um, and that I get if it's like stuff like that, but I think the comedy in the Fast and Furious movies is the movies themselves.
Hmm.
Because I'm watching the first one and you see how it started out to where it goes now, you would think you're watching two different movie franchises.
I remember in Seven, I think it was the trailer for Seven.
Uh-huh.
Like we showed that car jumping from one building and landing in another.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was like, that was the point where I was like, okay, so they know.
Yeah.
Like are these have become kind of like trying to find a good parallel. These are like the 60s Bond movies of today, where it's like real tongue in cheek, real. I think, I don't know, maybe I can't even think of another parallel besides like 60s Bond,
Mm-hmm.
60s Batman, really, I guess, where it's just kind of like you're getting more and more silly and audacious.
Yeah.
And I think maybe just people, I don't know, haven't seen who the people are who are complaining about this. But from what it sounds like, it's maybe that sort of like weird like camp, but like high production cost camp
Yes. Mm-hmm.
is sort of not it's kind of absent outside of things like Zack Snyder movies and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or times where it's unintentional.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people don't really know how to take it, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
or just kind of respond to it negatively.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the world that Fast and Furious is in is not a world that some people have wisened up to yet, you know?
I guess not, but they've been around for 20 years.
20 years? When did the first one come out?
2001.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's on HBO Max. I'm like a half hour into it and I love it. I love these movies. I really do. And I hope they never end. And I get amazing enjoyment out of them. And I hope to see F9 this weekend and rave about it next week. And I'm not kidding. Like, I actually love these movies.
You are, I feel like, our resident Fast and Furious, you know.
They're just so great. They're so fun. Just turn your brain off and watch a movie every once in a while. You'll love yourself so much more.
I have not seen a single one from start to finish.
Okay. The Fate of the Furious is great.
I feel like I'm very familiar with these movies without watching any of them.
Okay.
I've seen so many clips from them, and I've seen so many of the stunts from them.
Yeah.
I do want to watch these movies, but it's kind of like, well, now I've seen everything in them.
Yeah.
But they probably still got a lot of surprises up their sleeves. There's 10 of these movies, right? So
Well, this is technically the 10th in the franchise, but the ninth Fast and Furious movie. Yeah. So Vin Diesel said they're making there's only going to be two more. I don't know if that means in 9 and 10 or 10 and 11.
it seems weird that they'd end on 11.
Yeah, it does. They should end on 10, but I don't know. It
Fast,
it, it
final.
would be on brand for them to end at 11.
Fast 10, slow.
Yeah.
Fast 10, they should go so fast they break the light barrier, they break the speed of light, and they go.
Mm, I'm sure you just gave them a great idea that they are already considering.
If this happens in part 11, I expect to be paid royalties
Yeah.
and a little bit of merchandising and DVD sales.
I just want to know what's left. What can they do? Cuz they will one up themselves each time.
Well, they've gone to space. Maybe they got to go to the center of the Earth, like in Core.
Yeah. What if they're just like completely on Mars the next movie?
like they go to space and they end up on Mars, and they have a Martian dune race with some dune buggies
This would
on
be something. Or
racing on.
it's like a war of all the best like street racers, and it's like Vin Diesel and someone from each planet.
What if 10 is like we go back in time and it's like the first car race, and like it's like they're both cars are going like 15 miles per hour.
Yeah, yeah. Or they were just like in foot races. Like Vin Diesel is like foot racing people.
It's like a guy holding two like pieces of wood, like running with like a cart and like with wheels on it.
Yeah. And Vin Diesel is the fast and the guy he's beating is the furious one.
Fast and Furious, but it's a sword and sandal epic a la Ben Hur, and they're racing in chariots.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea.
Brilliant. Brilliant movies, brilliant people.
Fast and the Furious XI, because it's Roman.
Um they're making Disney is making another live action remake of their animated classics.
Mhm.
Uh this one will the next one they're I guess starting to cast is Snow White, and they casted Snow White, and it'll be Rachel Zegler, who is Maria in the upcoming West Side Story. Um I don't like I haven't seen her in anything.
West Side Story hasn't come out yet, so
Yeah,
this was like announced as a piece of news, and I'm like, I can't feel some way about it because
yeah.
big breakout starring role is in a movie that hasn't been released.
Well, I think it just means good things for how her performance will be in West Side Story, at least. I mean,
It means the executives who saw that were like, hey, at least they were at least enthusiastic about the Maria in that film.
yeah, yeah, right. Everything else is bad.
I think live action Snow White is what we should be more at least wondering about, you know?
Right, yeah. Who's gonna play the dwarves?
Maybe it'll be like the Willy Wonka remake, like it's one guy and they just like CGI him like 9 times. How many dwarves? Are there? Nine, seven, seven dwarves.
Seven dwarves. I'm not kidding you. James Corden has one of the roles of the dwarves locked up. He will be one of them.
Oh my God, you're right.
It'll be like James Corden, Josh Gad, uh
Nathan Lane.
that's perfect. Nathan Lane, uh
Trying to think.
John C. Riley for sure.
No, John C. Riley's good. I guess Nathan Lane's not that bad.
I don't know. I could see him. Uh,
Josh
what are
Gad's
the seven dwarfs? I need to find all their names.
Sleepy, Dopey, Doc.
Yeah, we have Sneezy, Sleepy, Happy, Doc, Grumpy, Dopey, Bashful.
Which one's Doc? There's a doctor?
Wait, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Doc is just like the oldest one, I think.
Why do they keep making these live action Disney? Does anyone see them and enjoy them? I'm not even like being like
I saw the Lion King one and I felt empty watching it. I felt so empty.
I my mom turned it on the TV, and even my mom who likes almost every Disney thing was like watching it with like glazed eyes, like it looked so ugly
It
and so
did.
high, and because it's live action it's like you can't make it look pretty and figurative. It has to look like videos from the Discovery Channel which really hinders you when you're telling a fantastical, magical story.
Mhm.
To do it this, I just remember like the "I just can't wait to be king" scene.
Yeah.
You look at the cartoon and there's like those colorful peacocks and those
Mhm.
the cloth in the background and stuff like that. And in the live action movie, he's just
Yeah.
running around.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. They'll make a lot of money off it. I'm more interested in the ones like Snow White though, I guess. Lion King I think is an extreme kind of circumstance.
I like Aladdin, even that one. Like,
I haven't seen Aladdin. What other ones are there?
so
Cinderella, I didn't see.
Cinderella, I did see. Cinderella was the one, that was the first one they did. And I remember watching that when I was, I think, 13,
Yeah.
14, and thinking, like, well, it doesn't have any of the magic that, the original one had, but it's the story.
Yeah.
Got all the fundamentals there. And that's the thing with all of these. Like I've seen way more of these than I guess I remember. Because I've seen the Beauty and the Beast one as well.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. And with all of them, it's like you have the fundamentals there, but no flourish and no like Disney magic. It's like these movies were made by a big machine down in Hollywood where you just enter in the script and it bingles around for a few minutes and casts whoever is trending top on Twitter and then produces a movie out in like a little flash drive that you then email to AMC's across the country.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Did you know they're making a Gaston series on Disney Plus
Well, isn't the whole thing? I feel like you can't.
starring Josh Gad and Luke uh what's his name? Luke Evans, something like that.
Can't. The fields in the cultural politics of today seems like they would hastily reject a Gaston show, I feel like.
Yeah, you would think.
Because he's like archetypical, like He-Man misogynist.
Mhm. That's pretty true, yeah.
I'm not even like, I mean, I imagine this show will probably last like who's gonna watch it?
I don't know.
Are people clamoring for this?
Probably not.
I feel like the Gaston we got in, well, I guess in the animated movie, that's as much Gaston as we need.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need an extended Gaston universe.
I don't need to know what made him the way he is.
Yeah.
As a child, he was, his family was murdered by a bunch of guys reading books.
Hmm. Um
His
you
mother was
want
on the bookshelf.
yeah. You want to talk about the new Transformers movie upcoming?
Yeah, it got a full title, and
Yeah.
it's set in 1994, and the new title is, let me see, it
Rise
is
of the Beasts,
Rise of the Beast, set
Anthony
in.
Ramos.
See, I remember um, Bumblebee movie that I quite liked. That one was, set in the 80s, which was, our favorite decade to set movies back in that whole decade.
Mhm.
And this will be set in our favorite decade of this, our favorite decade to set movies in this decade,
Yeah.
1994. So maybe this one will see some Bad Boys action.
Maybe. Um I've never seen a single Transformers movie.
You haven't.
No.
When I was younger, my family used to go see them all, and I fell asleep throughout every single one.
Sounds accurate.
Those are the most boring explosion-filled movies that you can make.
I like Anthony Ramos. I forget who else is in this.
I guarantee you one of the first shots of this movie is going to be an establishing shot that zooms in on a neighborhood with some 90s song like, I don't know, Flagpole Sitta playing in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Michael Bay is like done with these movies, right?
Yeah,
I
I
know
think
he's at least not directing this.
I think we're I guess it's 1994, so Flagpole Sitter's not. But he's not directing it, I don't think. But I think he's still going to be directing the main chunk, or he might not. I don't know really.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
think.
know.
No.
Um, yeah. Hopefully, they're making good ones now after Bumblebee was the last one, right? I imagine.
That was also pretty good.
Yeah. So, hopefully they continue to start a new regime of decent Transformers movies.
A new regime change. That's what I love.
Yeah. Um. All right. Last thing I want to quickly mention. This is kind of big for me. Olivia Wilde and Toby Maguire have been cast in Damien Chazelle's new movie Babylon.
Do we know what this movie's about?
It's uh it's something about like silent films.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think it's a silent film, but I think it's about them. Uh Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie already in it. This sounds great.
about the silent era or something.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it's set in that time or I forget. But I'm interested in this no matter what. I love Damien Chazelle. But Toby Maguire, awesome.
Hmm.
I'm excited about this. And he's gotta be in Spider-Man now, right? If he's getting roles like this.
Well, he's been getting some roles.
I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard of him in anything in a while.
How long ago was The Great Gatsby?
5+ years ago, I would say.
Oh,
I would say
never.
it was like 2013. I'll look it up.
That sounds right. Look that up though.
Great Gatsby movie was 2013. Yeah.
48% on Rotten Tomatoes. I seem to recall people liking that movie.
I I yeah, I watched it with my class and I I liked it. It wasn't terrible.
It's a, it is kind of fitting that we mentioned this. I feel like Damien Chazelle is shaping up to be the next generation's Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah, I love Whiplash and obviously La La Land, so I'm in no matter what he does, but the cast sounds pretty freaking awesome.
Pretty freaking good.
Pretty freaking cool. Uh Tobey Maguire, I'm looking at his roles.
Isn't that?
Uh oh, he
Or
was in The Boss Baby, I'm sorry.
oh, I thought you just meant his roles in general. And I was like, yeah, that guy's got a great career.
Apparently he was in Nobody, that recent movie.
I don't know. I feel like that movie did that do successfully? Did that do well?
I think people liked it.
Yeah, I feel like I heard a lot of people saying that was good.
Yeah. They have a thing about Babylon on IMDb here.
Mm.
It says plot unknown, rumored to be set in period Hollywood.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it is maybe like about a film about the silent era.
Yeah. Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Max Minghella, Samara Weaving, Olivia Wilde, Tobey Maguire, Eric Roberts, Catherine Waterston, Phoebe Tonkin, Spike Johns. I don't know how to say his name.
Gonna be in it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers also in it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You joking right now?
I'm not at all. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't see anything specific about the
If it's still in pre-production, just know, Damien and Chazelle, that both of our reels are ready.
unavailable.
Yeah, so cast both of us. We need
Please.
some work. It goes for all of you directors watching this.
Yes.
Mark, David, Paul, Wes, all casting your new movies. Need
Mm-hmm.
some plucky youngsters.
Vin Diesel.
Vin, yeah, if you're watching this.
I'm ready to take over the mantle as the next captain of the next 10 Fast and Furious movies if you need me to.
Yes.
All right, do you want to read some reviews?
Yeah. Oh, we also should I mention, speaking of good
Yeah.
casts, Lily Collins has been casted in uh, a film based
Oh,
on
yes.
Polly Pocket,
Polly Pockets, everyone's favorite toys.
directed by Lena Dunham, which is
Yeah, I don't know if it's official yet. I saw it on Discussing Film. I mean, it's probably gonna happen. Sounds great. I love movies about classic children's toys.
a Clue was an excellent film.
Yeah.
And Greta Gerwig has that Barbie movie coming out.
Oh, that is right. I remember hearing about that.
So, anything's possible.
Is it like animated?
I think it's going to be live action.
Okay. I just don't know how they'll get these things to work, but I'm excited to see them. I can't even lie.
Making my movie based on chess.
Yeah, that'd be good.
An angry guy throwing up the board and destroying.
Hmm. All
Actually, no, I'm
right.
the movie. It's going to be like Citizen Kane.
Shall we read some reviews?
Yeah. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. This one is for F9, the Fast Saga, Fast Furious 9. It's a 1.5 star review from Josh. And he says Chris Nolan rolling uncomfortably in his bed at 3 a.m. wishing Tenet was this cool. I have a bit of an issue with this. You're calling the movie cool, yet you're giving it 1.5 stars. What's up with that? Feel like you're contradicting yourself. Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Well, comparatively cool doesn't mean cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Any slander, any review less than 5 stars for Fast and Furious movies are wrong, in my opinion.
Okay.
Maybe that's just me.
You do enjoy Nolan slander, though.
I do enjoy some good old Christopher Nolan slander.
I'm a meager Nolan enthusiast.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you.
didn't love Interstellar.
I quite liked Interstellar.
Not
That
for
was
me.
actually that was better than fine. I thought it was pretty good, and I think
See,
Inception is great.
Inception's awesome. I love Inception.
Excellent movie.
Yes.
He tried. See, the issues he tried to go for two. So I'm gonna make two best sci-fi
Yes.
movies of the decade, and it's like, nah, you got greedy.
Too much Timothy Chalamet for me in Interstellar. That was the issue.
Well, is he in that?
Yeah, he's Matthew McConaughey's son.
That was before Timothy Chalamet was like Timothy Chalamet. I feel
Yeah,
like.
it was.
So, like,
He was like a kid, like a real kid.
I didn't even like register that he was in that movie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really, Timothy Interstellar?
Yep.
Huh. All right. My first review is from Manhunt. gives Mean Girls one half of a star and says, "They're too mean."
Can you confirm this?
If they were really mean, he should give it 2.5
That's
stars.
right, but he's too. I think he's scared of Regina George.
Well, I'm saying he has to give it, an average to make it very mean.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really
Would you be
funny.
scared of Regina George if she was at your school? This is more of a rhetorical question to the audience now because Evan is now frozen on my end. So I'll stall time for about 5 more seconds until he's back. Um, I think maybe I would be a little scared. I don't know. Never been in that situation though. So, yeah, Evan's still frozen. I think Regina George scared him away. Um, oh, he's back now. We're good. I was not killing time and talking to myself.
Okay.
Um,
What's your second review of
my
the day?
second review is for The Fast and the Furious from 2001. So we went from the most recent movie to the first movie here, and this is a 2.5 star review from Eric Sizka. I don't know how to say your last name. I'm sorry. I know you're listening though. And Eric says they should set a Fast and Furious movie in the post-apocalypse or medieval England. Really, no reason not to. And this got my wheels turning because
It's Eric Shishka you're talking about,
yes.
the fellow movie podcast host,
Oh, is that right?
more famous than we are.
Oh. Well, Eric, I appreciate this review because this is how we get James Corden in Fast and Furious 10. We go to England in medieval times, and James Corden is the rival to Vin Diesel. Sounds pretty perfect to me.
I think that we, once again, not only are our reels available for acting, we have tons of screenplay ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, hire us, please.
Please.
So, from Lizzie Pale, she gives Ted 2 5 stars and says, "My favorite documentary." It is a documentary. They just followed around
Mark
Mark Wahlberg
Wahlberg.
for just 2 hours, and that's really what came out of it.
Yeah.
They had to dub over the uh, teddy bear, though. In real life, Mark Wahlberg's teddy bear, only spoke in
Right.
very angry racial slurs, so they had to
Right.
dub her in.
Yeah. I heard he was a bit of an issue.
Yeah, he was kind of a prima donna on set, he was,
Mm-hmm.
but they figured it out for the sequel.
All right. My last review is a 1 star review from Bill Chambers, and this comes from. This is actually one of my favorite pieces of content I've consumed in the last couple of months. It's this one's from Friends, the reunion, and this one says Matthew Perry. This show was bad for my mental health, and being back here is causing me obvious distress. James Corden. Here's Justin Bieber dressed like an armadillo. That's a pretty accurate description of what goes on
Hmm.
in Friends, semicolon, the reunion.
Now you are once again a super fan of the show, as am I.
Yes. Some would call me one of the friends.
Yeah,
I'm a friend.
friend of the show,
Yeah, I'm a friend of friends.
friend of friend, friend of.
I'm a friend of a friends.
We're getting real loopy in this hour of the
We
podcast.
are, yeah. I would appreciate hitting the hay soon.
All right. So last review from It's Your Boy. He gives Who Framed
That's
Roger?
just his name. It's your boy.
It's Ya Boy. Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
So I recently watched this movie this weekend. Quite enjoyed it. It was quite good to revisit. He gives Who Framed Roger Rabbit 1/2 star. Says, This movie was the worst. I can't believe it's rated PG. There's swearing and alcohol. I just hated it. Honestly, one of my least favorite movies of all time. Save some time and watch something else. And there are some tags on it. Tag one, bad movie.
Mhm.
Tag two, what the heck? And I, for one, agree with the sentiments. I think that we as a
Yeah,
society have become too loose with our morals. We're
we
showing.
need to move away from that.
I know. We have to encourage a return to traditional moral values and encourage less materialism in young people.
It's a very important message that we should just end our episode on, I think.
Yes.
So thank you for listening to us complain about things we don't like. Complain about things we do like. Um,
About things we have no opinions about whatsoever.
if
Our
you Yes, if you are going to have any free time this weekend, might I just suggest knock yourself out and watch Fast and Furious 9. Just watch it and laugh at it and turn your brain off and enjoy it. You'll be happy you listened to me and us. So yeah, we'll see you again next Thursday/Friday. And
leave a comment. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, why don't you write us a little review?
yeah, why not?
Appreciate them a lot.
We would very much appreciate that. Yeah, comment how wrong we are, comment how right we are, and and we'll talk all about it next week. All right, peace, people.